Hello everyone, my name is Lowko, and what I've got for you today is a best of 3 series of top level StarCraft 2 between two absolute channel favorites. Spotting right here in the top right hand corner, the Protoss player of Order and of Excel spreadsheets. Okay, maybe that's not a very impressive title, but playing right here with the blue Protoss pieces, we have none other than MaxPax. Statistically, the highest ranked Protoss player on the planet. Now his opponent already giving him the GL, playing with the red Zerg drones. A very chaotic Zerg player. We have none other than Dark. I always love it when these two play against each other, because it really is two very different regions. In general, the Koreans like to play this game very chaotically, whereas the Europeans are usually quite a bit more delicate with their executions. It wouldn't be too uncommon for Dark to hit a supply block at like 36 out of... Okay, that would be a little early. But it isn't too crazy for Dark to make little macro mistakes and then make up for it with brilliant strategic planning. And it would be, yeah, very different for MaxPax, because MaxPax, generally speaking, does not mix up any crazy macro moves. He doesn't really play any wild strategies, but he's extremely good at executing straight up StarCraft 2. I'm excited to find out what happened between these two. For now, though, everything very normal. We did have a hatchery block on the other side of the map, but I don't think Dark really cares about being forced to take the forward expansion on ley lines. One of the advantages of taking this base first is that you can obviously start spreading creep from right about right over here, and that means that the distance that you have to cover towards the other side of the map is a little bit shorter than if you were to start over here in a natural expansion. So there's some benefits as well, and, well, in general, Dark is a very free-flowing Zerg. I don't think he really cares all that much. Dark, by the way, did recently leave his team. So for about the... I want to say 200th time or so over the last 5 years, it is rumored once again that Dark is going to be starting up his mandatory military service sometime soon. I don't know, man. Apparently they decided to not renew his contract, so maybe his time is now nearly... I don't know. Maybe he's going to start up his military service soon, but he is still playing in pretty much everything. He did take a little bit of a break. Like a month or two ago, he was chilling a little while. I guess after the Esports World Cup, it did make a bit of sense as well, right? It was kind of the perfect time for the pro gamers to maybe just relax a little bit and take it easy for some time. Some pro gamers are still taking it easy, but it seems like Dark is back in full practice mode right now. I don't think MaxPax has ever not been in full practice mode. I don't know if MaxPax ever takes breaks. Clem actually mentioned at Home Story Cup that this time around, after winning the World Cup, right? So after the biggest tournament of the year, he decided to not take any time away. So he wanted to, so usually he would take some time off after the big events. This time around, he's kept playing. And his main concern is that he's going to burn out. But it's very clear that he's been able to maintain a ridiculous skill level. So it's kind of curious. Most of the time you'll see pro gamers taking a break. Apparently, the world champion has decided to experiment with not taking a break. Zergling speed finishing up, and we already have a round of links moving on the left side. Gonna mostly use this, I think, as a scouting opportunity, as MaxPax is thinking about taking this as a third base. Oracle is gonna immediately get its energy. MaxPax using it, by the way, immediately. I think using it on the second Oracle is also a good play, but apparently MaxPax immediately decides to activate it. Third Nexus should be down at 350. Perfect timing right here by Max. Everything stock standard. Dark, in the meantime, desperately trying to drone up his bases. This is, though, where Protoss is going to be a little bit of a nuisance. 4-minute Roach Warren. And so far, this is very normal, too, by the way, from Dark. It's so funny. Dark seems to adjust really well to what other players are doing. Like, when he plays against Hero, he starts playing like a bit of a donkey himself, too. But now when he's playing against, well, the #1 Protoss from Europe, he's playing surprisingly standard. So he does know the standard, right? Like, it's not like he is unaware. This is good movement, though, here by MaxPax. He's gonna sec those adepts, but getting as many kills in as possible. 7 drones just like that at the cost of 2 adepts is not bad. This hatchery has still not been producing, though, and you can see the mineral count starting to stack up right now on the side of Dark. MaxPax decides to rub the salt in a little bit. He's like, hey, buddy, nice larva you got over there. be a shame if something were to happen to him. Oracles, of course, are spell damage dealers. The Pulsar Beam ability is a spell damage, and because of that, it ignores armor. All spells in StarCraft 2 ignore armor. As we do have a nice little Queen March, though, happening right now. Dark is effectively going for an all-in, based on just 32 drones. MaxPax is not yet picked up on this, I don't think. I don't believe he's seen the Queens. If he would have seen the Queens, that would have been all the info he truly needs. There's a shield battery coming up, but keep in mind, shield battery overcharge is no longer available. Significant economical advantage right here for MaxPax, but can he actually hold on? That's the question. There's a link flood as well following this up. Those oracles are absolutely critical. A fourth oracle is coming up. Shield battery in the natural expansion too. Shield batteries are now a little bit more tanky, but it looks to me that MaxPax is giving up, or at least he's pretending that he's giving up on that third base. Yeah, no, he needs to. I don't think he can really do much. Shield batteries are not going to be as useful anymore. We do have some nice bit of oracle damage though. One of the oracles falls, but one of the queens has already gone down too. And as soon as the queens have disappeared, obviously then, well, the rest of the Zerg army is extremely vulnerable. He's targeting down one of the Ravagers at the very least. Blink is only about maybe 3/4, no, less than that. Maybe halfway done at this point. Fourth Oracle is available, and one more Queen has come across too. MaxPax has been doing some nice micro right here with the probes. The majority of them are still around. Zerglings run into the main base. So far, I mean, the third Nexus does go down, but so far this has been a hold for MaxPax. If he can stabilize from here and minimize the worker losses, he's gonna be fine. 33 drones is less than 2 bases worth of economy for Zerg. It's about 44 workers for 2 base. Dark is not yet done though. He's still just running these units across the map. Oracle's now out of energy, so they can't cast much anymore. We do have +1 as well as that blink upgrade now, finishing up very soon. Pulsar Beam has been activated over here. Honestly, the probe control has been excellent. And as the dust settles, MaxPax holds. I mean, during all of that, 12 workers went down. Only 12. I wonder if Max could have made it a little bit easier for himself by building a shield battery in the main base, or maybe a photon cannon, or something along those lines. But overall, that was some expertly done crisis management, and he's already back in action on the other side of the map. MaxPax's such a monster, man. 27 kills on an Oracle. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, yeah. One Oracle has gone down only. 22 on that one, 11 on the other. This is why it physically hurts me every time I see an Oracle die in the early game of ZVP when Protoss is harassing, because they're such a good unit. These are the absolute legends of the Protoss army. Okay, now MaxPax is ahead, yes, but does he know? Because this is not an easy game to read. You've lost your third base, your economy is decent, but it's by no means great. How many workers did Zerg have? You know you killed some of their workers when you first went across, but how do you know that you're actually ahead? Well, you're gonna have to test the waters. Blink is of course available, so you can bring those weakened stalkers behind this army and allow them to shoot over the shoulders of the others. Great micro here by MaxPax. And it looks to me, yeah, European efficiency wins over the Korean chaos. GG. I feel like in the hands of somebody like MaxPax, the energy recharge ability is a clear buff. At least in this matchup. I'm not entirely sold yet on the Protoss versus Terran matchup. Shield battery overcharge, I mean, it has been really good in PvT in the past. But I'm really liking how the energy recharge ability is working out in the end, though. It's really fun to see this much more aggressive approach. It's just much harder. That's the problem, right? Like, if you're not microing very diligently and you're not paying very close attention, it is super easy to hit the shield battery overcharge and to get the extra healing, right? It's like the one-size-fits-all type of solution. It's really quite easy. You press the button once, that's it. Now you're more defendable. Energy recharge is significantly harder to optimize, but that's also exactly the reason why I like it, because lower skilled Protoss players are going to struggle more, but higher skilled Protoss players are likely to have more success as time goes on. Because they're slowly figuring out the best way to optimize it. Keep in mind that you can also use that shield battery, the energy recharge on the shield batteries. We haven't really seen that all too much. I guess recharging oracles is just simply better, but it's certainly an option. And one of the nice things, of course, about that ability, say it does turn out that it's just not quite as strong enough, you could, like, reduce the amount of energy that it takes to cast the ability. Or maybe you could reduce the amount of cooldown. It's a relatively elegant solution, and yeah, for like a first time trying this sort of thing out, I think it's working out really nicely. Plus, in general, Protoss has just been way more aggressive. I think for most Protoss players, it's almost like a mindset, like a mind shift. Mindset shift, there you go, that's what I'm trying to say. Mindset shift, there you go. It's almost like a shift in the way that you have to play the game. I feel like a lot of Protoss players have been playing that very defensive style for many years, where they're sitting back and they're absorbing every blow and then eventually they overwhelm. It seems that the Stalker Zealot armies are much more playable now because the early game is slightly stronger. And because of that, you can actually play that much more active style of Protoss very, very nicely. We've been seeing, especially, for example, like Clem's Protoss has been legit, right? It's been really impressive. And we can really see the amount of value you can get out of your basic units if you're constantly in the opponent's face. So rather than sitting back, it seems like it's promoting much more active playstyles, which I think can only be ever a good thing. Does look a little dangerous over here on Eldorado, by the way. Anyways, triple hatch start here for Dark. He did not get any upgrades yet. Yeah, I was gonna say, he does need to start that up. Void Ray first for Max. So we've seen Hero experiment with a Void Ray first build. Apparently now MaxPax is gonna mix it in too. I do overall like the Void Ray builds a little bit better now. I just don't know if I agreed with the follow-up that we saw from Hero quite a bit. So Hero has been going Void Ray into Oracles, into Blink Stalker with +1. So basically the gold standard, except it starts off with Void Rays. Curious to see what MaxPax's follow-up is going to be. And I wonder if it's going to be different. So far it's the same. I've seen, especially on the European end of things, a lot of Protoss players go into a fast fleet beacon and a second Stargate from here. Some of them are even rushing like Mama ships and all that. Technically a really cool style. Wonder if MaxPax is also gonna follow in Hero's footsteps and take that quick Twilight Council together with a +1 upgrade on the back of this. Void Ray, of course, very nice for base defense, right? Like, this is now the... if you're worried about a Queen March, I mean, obviously a Queen March can still work out, but... a Void Ray is really nice in that department. It's just not as good for base harassment. No Roach Warren this time around. Instead, we're gonna go straight into a lair. Dark skipping the Roach Warren. There is the Twilight Council together with the Forge. Okay. So MaxPax basically doing what Hero has been doing. I don't think you can really go Glaives off of this. You could go Charge. Glaives also could work, especially when the opponent skips Roaches, but I don't think MaxPax can really sufficiently figure that sort of thing out here. It'll likely be an instant Hydra then here for Dark. Yeah, it could just definitely be Blink. What are we gonna make? Nothing! Well, that wasn't on my list. That was not on my list of opportunities. He did fire up the +1. Really? Did we just forget? Oh, I hope for MaxPax's sake he did not forget. Because he's not building anything. Like, he's busy harassing on the other side of the map, and we have a transfusion here on a drone. Not a whole lot of damage done. No, we're actually just purposely going into a Templar Archives. So this is MaxPax trying to rush out Sonic Storm. Interesting. He could have started it up a little bit sooner, though. He's got a gajillion gas in the bank already. An Archon or two here could be really useful. I don't think this is... like, if we're gonna go Archons, we should really have Charge going here. Okay, now Charge starts up. A little bit funky here. A little indecisive, almost. Are we gonna go for the... I think we are, right? He's got so much gas. Maybe not. Maybe he just wants to go Archon Zealot. I think so. Yeah. Okay. Overall, though, is this a better early game for MaxPax than what we saw in the previous match? I don't think so. It's one Void Ray into one Oracle. Both of them have a decent number of kills, but nothing amazing. Those Adepts didn't achieve much. Now, obviously, El Dorado is a very different map. And this is overall a little bit safer for MaxPax, but it's clear that Dark is just leaning into the more aggressive style now instead. Going into the gold base here, he's already going Hydras. He skipped the Roach Warren, but he's still building one right now. How much damage can the Archon drop do? Okay. Kill the Hydra, kill the Queen. If you can get a Queen, that'd be mine. Yeah, that'd be nice. Not bad. Their Storm on the Beckett is right now, together with +2. This is a bit of a weird build. A bit of a funky build right here from Max. Double Photon Cannon. Or no, one Photon Cannon, one Shield Battery at the 4th base. Big Stasis Ward though. He may not have a lot of Oracles, but still making the best of the situation. I feel like he could have had Storm already. MaxPax also with a lot of money in the bank. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like somebody told MaxPax, yo, switch it up once, you know, like mix up your build orders a little bit. He's like, all right, I guess I'll mix up my strategies, and then he's now playing something he's entirely uncomfortable with. Because this is looking a little bit messy. And that's exactly the type of style that Dark likes to play. Dark coming in right now, smelling blood in the water. There's a couple of units over here on the high ground. Good force field as well, though. That Stasis Ward is also lovely. Again, the Oracle is the MVP. There's only one of them in this particular game. Recall. Gonna bring the Prism back. At least it stayed alive. One of the Archons has gone down. Oracle is once more free, but the Zerg is still on the hunt. Storm goes down. Okay. MaxPax still with an absurd amount of resources in the bank, though. Way too much money in the bank. Yeah, and Dark is taking this as an opportunity. I think this was really not even a killer move here from Dark. He was just going across the map to test the waters a little bit, and now he's decided, yo, you know what? I'll just keep making attacking stuff. Yeah, I'll find some more probes, and we've already pushed the Protoss back in their expansion. GG goes down, and it's indeed Dark who wins game number 2. Amy Gadala is gonna be our final map for today. Dark with the GL every game. MaxPax, no response. Although maybe MaxPax gave him the GLHF before the game began, right? During the countdown, at which point it wouldn't show up in a replay file. But it always does seem a little bit cold when the opponent gives just the GL, right? No GLHF. And then the opponent says absolutely nothing. Absolutely zero response right here by MaxPax. Yeah, that previous game felt quite sloppy. I really don't think Dark was ready to go and win the game yet. He was just going across to see what the opponent was up to, and he's like, wait a second. Let me go ahead and be a little bit annoying to you. Good move right there by Dark. These corners on this map are really wild, man. Like, we have these weird jumpy jumps. Does it do it over here too? No, I know it does do it over here. Whenever units pass in very specific areas on the amygdala, we do see strange jumps going around. Anyways, this is Dark going for a proxy hatchery block. Doing what Dark does best. Then again, though, this might just trigger very robotic behavior out of MaxPax too. You never know. Dark, yeah, he's doing this against... So he's thinking, right, the previous game was nice because Max was doing something weird, and it's clear that he wasn't very comfortable with it. What about I just do one of those annoying throws here? Like, we go for, like, the curveball that my opponent is going to struggle against a little bit. But then again, MaxPax is very much so somebody who grinds out a million games. And he will probably already be thinking about all of the moves he needs to do after this. So, interestingly enough, MaxPax not going for the third base rather than the natural. So he's just leaving the expansion over here as his first base of operations where he does want to expand to. But instead he decides to go for an instant zealot into now double adept production. This is weird though, from MaxPax. Not quite the norm. Normally you pull 4 probes, kill the hatchery on the low ground, use the zealot to put in supplemental damage. Yeah, this expansion is going to be really difficult to take. Dark could even go for a queen if he really wants to. Yeah. If the queen can put down a creep tumor, it's pretty much game over. Okay, maybe that's a little overly dramatic, but... You think Brenda's going to make it? I think so. These Zerglings can be quite annoying here. Brenda's gonna make it. Yes, she is gonna make... Okay, sorry. I believe in Brenda. Brenda needs the backup of a couple of her Zerglings. In the meantime, though, the Adepts have made their way towards the other side of the map. They're just mostly hanging out in the natural expansion, and there she is, dude. Look how pretty she looks today. The Zealot goes down. Retaliation for almost killing the hatch. Brenda really wants to put down a creep tumor, but it's yeah, it's not gonna happen, man. As long as MaxPax is paying attention, it shouldn't happen. Adepts have shaded away in the meantime. I think Brenda is gonna try and poop on the creep before... Yeah, there she goes. It's an attempt at... Yeah, it was an attempt. It was a cool attempt right there by Brenda. The emergency poop. It happened to... Oh! 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 There's an oracle now to spoil the fun. Good attempt. Good attempt right there by Brenda. Here come the rest of the Zerglings, though. Can we... Oh, yes! He plugs it with 2 Adepts. Not quite optimal, but there should be more than enough available right now. One problem here, though, for the Protoss player is that even when this expansion now goes down, it's still gonna be like a minute. Okay, maybe not a minute, like 30 seconds before he can actually take the base. So all this while, it's a 1-base Protoss going up against 2-base Zerg, which is, of course, really nice right here for Dark. Worker-wise, though, MaxPax is heavily oversaturated on his expansion. Or on his main base, rather. He's got a lot of stuff here already. I guess he can start long-distance mining, but... because of this chaotic situation, I gotta give Dark the advantage so far. Yeah. Dark enjoys playing this type of game, and in my mind, MaxPax really does not. Oh, it takes so long, man. When you're waiting for the creep to disappear, it takes so long. This is like a microwave minute over here. Those take like 3 times as long as a regular minute. Okay. You know when you've like baked cookies or whatever and you gotta let them cool down for like 10 minutes? Those are the longest 10 minutes of your life. Alright, anyways, the Zerglings tried to work on this. The rocks do stay up for the time being, but they have been softened a little bit. Honestly, I don't mind this at all. Now, what I do mind is that we have a Glaive Adept follow-up right now, which is really funky if you're giving up a bunch of your Adepts right now, although I say that. I think that's the first Adept going down, second Adept going down. They've already killed a bunch of Lynx. And what are the odds right now that Dark is expecting an Adept push follow-up when the opponent gives you all of those Adepts right now? This is either like a 200 IQ or a 20 IQ play right here. By MaxPax. Like, you give up 8 Adepts in the game, only to then go for an Adept push. They're just about to hit a big power spike. This is about a 40-ish, 45-ish% attack speed improvement. So they're much better at killing Zerglings and, well, everything Zerg, really. Problem here, though, for the Protoss player is that there is no robo facility. No forward pylon, no nothing. So we are effectively doing almost like a 2-base all-in. And this is committed, because these adepts need to get something done. If they don't, Dark's gonna hold down the drone button, and he's gonna pull miles ahead. For now, though, there's no Roach Warren. We have a lair. Oracles are countered, I guess, with Spore Crawlers, but other than that, let's see. I don't think there's any vision, by the way, in the top lane. Dark does not notice, and now he sees the adepts. This is so strange, though, because you've just killed adepts. It makes little sense to not go into Blink from here. That's exactly why it does make sense, though. He decides to put those units in that corner, reducing the surface area that the Zerglings can get, trying to make it hard for the Lynx to get the wrap around. They're slowly making their way towards the main base. Baneling Nest on the back of this. Do you commit? Okay, we do apparently commit. Third Nexus, and we do get a +1 or a plus Blink upgrade there on the back of this as well for Max. Reinforcing adepts do get shut down. +1 melee is going to finish up. I mean, it's only a couple seconds now. Should finish. Oh, he could have targeted it a little bit sooner. It did complete. That's a big power spike. Ultimately, though, I think MaxPax was hoping that this was going to win him the game. And it won't. Dark stays alive here. And he pushes away all of these units. Now, he did take a bunch of damage in the process. As a matter of fact, look at the resources lost right now. It's not even done yet, as we have a couple more drones falling at the tail end of this engagement. All right, there we go. The dust settles. No gas lost yet right here for Dark, so that's nice, I guess. But it's a lot of resources across the board. MaxPax, in the meantime, has got a third base. Blink, like I said, is about halfway done now, and we have the Forge building as well. Very impressive stuff here from MaxPax, though. I think if we zoom out a little bit and we think about what MaxPax was doing about a half year ago, I think he was sometimes a bit too predictable. And Protoss in general, StarCraft in general, shouldn't really be played in a very predictable way. It's usually not the successful style. But MaxPax, I mean, mixing it up in every game so far. Banelings, though, coming in clutch right now. This is when Dark holds down the drone button, so that worker deficit is going to be... well, it's going to disappear here. He's already got the forward base done as well. A stasis ward set up over here. He was probably hoping that some of the drones could be caught. Apparently it was spotted, though, by Dark, who saw that thing going down, send a Zergling in that direction. 9 minutes in, we have a robo facility coming up right now, together with a shield battery, and then also the +1 research. Adepts trying to harass this from the back. Even though Blink is done, we're still warping in more adepts. Usually there is not really a transition back towards adepts, because they tend to fall off really hard the longer the game goes on. A couple of Banelings have shown up on the other side of the map, but good splitties right there by MaxPax. Only loses 3 probes in total. I mean, as long as the opponent is just showing you Ling Bane, why transition towards Stalkers? Not that the Stalker is bad. Yeah, I don't think you really want to lean all of your units into just a bunch of adepts, because the Banelings can make quick work of them if you're not super careful. But let's see, how much work can we do? Can't really split, though. Yeah, that's the reason why we normally don't see that transition. 2 adepts do remain, but critical HP. They're gonna get picked off. Reinforcing Zergling over here, trying to be annoying. Now the Stalkers are gonna be the weapon of choice. Robo Bay on the back of this too for MaxPax, who wants to go into what is likely going to be the Colossus. That's of course always the difficult part about Protoss though, right? Like, yes, you have good units, but all the units need upgrades before they're actually good. And those upgrades can take like 7 years to research. We see that with Glaives. We see it with Blink. We see it with Extended Thermal Lens. We see it with everything. Oh, you've just got to target the hatch. Okay. You've got a queen as well on your way out. Why not? The reincarnation of Brenda. Can we blink across? Yep. Lovely move right there by MaxPax. I think that forward expansion is always a dangerous one. Now Lynx, though, are running through all of the lanes. We did have a stasis ward shutting down a couple Banelings that were up to no good. Nice attempt right there by Dark, who's hoping, praying. He's like, when I play against Hero, there's always an option to go into your expansion here. Dark taps out. This is a very early tap out. I think he saw the RoboBay with that Zergling group and he realized, yo, I am still playing Zerglings. There is about 0% chance that I can actually play this out. Behind in economy, behind in tech, behind in, well, essentially every way. Apparently, Dark is respecting MaxPax enough to play this out correctly. And he decides to leave the game. And that means that it's our Protoss player who obtains the victory in this series 2-1.